the purpose of this video is to walk through how recruiters can use AI and specifically Clay to help them filter and qualify replies from candidates. Something that we faced on our own agency is we would have literally hundreds of replies to figure out basically like, are they interested, are they not interested, what do they have a question about the job. And so this tutorial is basically going to show you how you can basically use AI as a recruiter to qualify replies. So you don't have to spend the entire day manually clicking through, going through each reply, and maybe even answering the same question over and over again. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to use Clay. Clay is a free tool, and everything I'm going to show you in this is pretty much free. If you have an API key from OpenAI or any of the providers, like if you're already using ChatGPT, then you can just plug that in here. Otherwise, Clay does give you free credits. So even then, you can do this entire flow for free to try it out. And then you can figure out if you want to keep using it or even tweak it. So to show you like an example of what this looks like, basically behind the scenes, what's happening is we have outbound to candidates for certain jobs. So we're running email outbound, and we also have LinkedIn outbound from our entire team of SDRs, which basically goes to different candidates and says, hey, you look like a fit for this role. Would you be interested in it or not? And all of that information from this one tool comes back into this table, and there's hundreds of replies. They've all been filtered out for now, but you can see like there's basically lots of replies. And what we are doing basically is getting the message that they've sent. We are getting all the details. So we're getting their LinkedIn, we're understanding what is their job title, what are their skills, are they currently, like, are they fully employed at the moment, or are they unemployed? Have they had a long career gap? And basically what we're doing is classifying their response. So are they interested? Do they have a question? If they have a question, we then pass them the context of the job description and even a call with the hiring manager. This just helps so much when people ask the same question over and over again, like, what's the salary range? Is it remote? Can I work from home, etc., like things like that. So this helps a lot to just answer questions like that. But where I would recommend you don't fully automate everything, like keep yourself in the loop. So we have someone that goes through this every single day who looks at what the AI suggests as their response, and then you basically click to send it to them. So eventually you can have this be fully automated, but I would definitely recommend, because recruiting is such a quality game, use AI to help you with creating responses and then basically check it yourself. And so you can see here, for example, this person had a question, and what did they say? What's the name of the company? Are you able to share more info? Now we've prompted this to not tell them the name of the company. Obviously you don't want to give that away, but let's see what it said. It said, hey, Alex, we keep our clients confidential in the early stages, blah, blah, blah. It's a high growth Series A startup in a fintech compliance space, NYC role, blah, 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 blah. The comp is this and the equity is that. If you'd like to learn more, speak with Drew, one of our recruiters, etc. So you can see that when you have hundreds of people doing this, it just saves so much time to have AI do this. And basically to pass the context of the job to the AI, all you need to do, like if you just had one job and you just want to do this right now to get started, you could literally just take the job description and put it into this column, into the prompt, and just say, here's all the information you need to know about the job, answer the question. And as you have more jobs, you can make it more fancy, basically where you have other tables. But for now, this is one way that you can basically have questions answered. Another useful thing that recruiters can do here is start qualifying people automatically without actually needing to go to their profile. So this is best for hard filtering. So say you only work with people who has 5 years of experience, or you don't want to work with anyone who is job hoppy. Let's say that they worked 3 jobs and they were at each job for 9 months or less. You know that that person is not going to fly with a hiring manager because they're seen as job hoppy. All of that information you can get with different tools. And one of them is Appify. Basically, you can go and get someone's LinkedIn and basically get all the information, put it back into this table, and then have different filters and different formulas like this, where you can figure out, okay, this person has been in a job for 6 months, so why are they looking for something so soon? Or this person has been in the job for 0 months and they're an intern, so we know that that's going to be disqualified. We're not going to work with them. Okay, this person's been in the job for 58 months. That's quite a long time. Or someone's been in the job for 5 years, 10 years. Okay, that doesn't work for us, etc. And then basically you can also basically pass in different names for different campaigns. And then you can also qualify the candidate. So you can figure out, okay, what skills do they have versus the job, etc. So that was a lot of theory and basically overview. I'm going to show you basically like how you could actually run this. So this assumes that you already have some kind of outbound system, whether that's Instantly for email or any kind of outbound system that has an API where you can bring that information back into Clay. You're going to need that. If you don't have that, the only way to do it would be basically to like download all the messages and then upload them into the system, which is totally possible, and then basically start creating AI columns. So let's assume that you are using some kind of AI system. The one we use is called Aimfox, and it's spelled like that. And I'm going to show you the API documentation. Aimfox is basically a tool that allows you as a recruiter to scale your outbound without needing to do things manually. So imagine right now you're using LinkedIn Recruiter, or you're sending connect requests manually, whoever's still doing that these days, or you're sending emails or things like that. This is basically a way for you to max out your LinkedIn connections and your LinkedIn messages every single week without doing it manually. And in this case, the tool that you're going to need to use is a webhook. And so in this case, you can either do this directly through the API, or if you're using Aimfox, you can just go into your settings and you can go into webhooks. And all we're going to do here is create a new webhook that you will then send to Clay. So the first thing you'll need to do is create an account in Aimfox or HeyReach. We're assuming that we're talking about LinkedIn today. So this is going to be Aimfox or HeyReach. You then go into Clay and create a new table. So we're going to say add and say blank table. And you can call this candidate replies, for example, because right now what we want to do is save time. You can then come here to add column, you can say add enrichment, and you can say import, and then say webhook. This basically, a webhook is like a connector. It basically just connects two pieces of software. Think about it like an extension cable. You're just connecting one piece of software to another piece of software. Copy this webhook URL and create a new webhook, and you can call this whatever you want. You can call this candidate first replies, or you can call it replies, whatever you want. In the URL section, paste the webhook URL that we got from Clay. If it's HeyReach, it's going to be the same thing. If it's Instantly, it's the same thing. If it's whatever it is, it just needs to know what that extension cable is talking to and what it's called. Don't worry about authentication. In terms of events, there's multiple different events. This is where you can get really fancy with things. All you're interested in here is replies. So when they send their first reply, in this case, we're talking about the first reply only. You can also do other replies. You can do the whole conversation history, click on reply and click save. So now you can see we have this webhook URL. Whenever someone replies, it's going to go into that table. So I'm going to delete this one just because we already have this. And basically you will then get all these webhook events into this table, and then you can basically start doing very fancy things. So let's say we get a new reply, and for this, I'm going to jump back into a real example so we can just focus on this. So let's just do this quickly, and I will just show you only one row so we can just focus on let's just focus on one row. Okay. So, starting row, and we're going to say row limit. Okay, cool. So we've got this one person. This person came in. We went and got their details from Aimfox. We then get their LinkedIn company URL back. We get their skills, we get their job title, and we get the months in the current job. Now we also know what campaign they're coming in for. And this person said, thanks. I'm assuming they're not interested with that message, but that's not important. What you need to understand right now is how to use AI in this situation. So let's start with getting the details. What you'll need to do is create an API call to Aimfox, which is again going to be in the documentation. And the API endpoint that you're going to be using in this case is the leads endpoint. So what you need to do is pass in the lead ID of this candidate, and then basically you're going to get back all their information. Imagine it like a mine. You basically got this person through Aimfox, and Aimfox or whatever system you're using will have all the information about them. You then basically need to tell that system, okay, give me all that information back about this person, and then you can use that information to qualify their question or whatever you want to do with their information. So in this case, we get back their company URL, their lead skills. This is super useful, especially in like technical recruiting, where you're trying to see, does someone have the certain skill set that you're going for? Ideally, you should have pre-filtered this when you did your sourcing search, but you can use this to basically say, do they have the skills that you have? And you can apply AI to any piece of this puzzle. Their title, months in the current job, etc. So what I want to show you is basically how to use AI, because all the other things are just formulas. So the way you do it is you basically can click on any tab, or you can click on at the end, and you just say add column, add enrichment, and you see here it says use AI. Click use AI, and then basically what you can do in here is you can type your prompt. Alternatively, you can also do it like this, which is a bit more control. So in this case, what we're going to be doing is creating or modifying content, and basically you can then go and put in the prompt that you want. So I would recommend keeping it simple. You can say, take in the, let's see what we have here. You can even just put the entire webhook dump if you want. You can just put all the information if you want. But let's say that we want to start with someone's skills. So let's go into, we get their details and we get their skills. Now I want to pass in all those skills. So I just click this, take in the skills of this candidate and determine if they have, let's just say in this case, do they have JavaScript experience? And this is a very short example, but you can use this for anything that you want to qualify or check. So you can choose to use the models that you want. This is why I was saying if you have your own API key, you can save money, but Clay does give you free credits, so you can just apply the credits that they give you and just get started right away. I would recommend any of the models are going to be fine. See which one that works for you. We use a lot of ChatGPT. In ours, 5.4 has been great. And basically then what you can do is have it generate a more significant prompt for you. So this is basically going to take your input and it's going to say, okay, cool, you're an AI assistant, blah, blah, blah. It's going to give a context. So it really gets like super detailed and granular in terms of the input and the output that you want. Then you can accept the prompt. You can also come in here and edit it and vary it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's test it. Let's see if this is actually going to work and find what we want. So we're going to say save and run one row. So this is now looking at this person's skills. And let's just do a test quickly manually for ourselves to see whether this person has the skills or not. So do we see JavaScript in here? I don't see JavaScript in here at all, unless there's another skills thing, which I don't think there is. Okay, what did it say? No JavaScript related skills found. So can you see this is a super simple example. We were just looking for a skill, but let's say you were looking for interest, such as, is this person interested in the job? What was the sentiment of their reply? Or yeah, do they have the skills, or what is their tenure at a job? All these different things you can basically use AI to qualify all these people and generate responses to their questions if they have any, so that you can basically then just look at a table and just filter, say, give me everyone who's qualified and everyone whose reply was positive, and then just focus on those candidates instead of having hundreds and hundreds of replies to get through and figuring out are they qualified, are they not, etc. So this is the tutorial for today. I really hope this helps you, and if you feel like more tutorials, come back and there will be more soon.